Hey, Mayor, it is 6:30.
Call this meeting to order for October 27th, 2020. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Richard Boss,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nadia Sykes,
Here.
Commissioner Sharon McDonald,
Here.
Commissioner Susan Payne,
Here.
Commissioner Josh Reardon,
Here.
Commissioner Dusty Wright.
Here.
You. Commissioner Jason Baldwin, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
I can hear
City
you.
Manager Brian Caesar,
Here.
City Attorney Patria Bengoshe.
Here.
The clerk is present. Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Rachel. If everyone would please stand, we'll have the invocation that will be given by Commissioner Payne, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Wright.
Hey, please join me in the prayer. Dear Jesus, we thank you so much for this day, Lord. We thank you for this time that we can get together, Lord, and do the business of the city, Lord. And Lord, I pray over this city. I pray over each and every citizen, Lord, and our county as well, Lord. And Lord, I pray you would just be with us, Lord, through these difficult times, Lord, and that you would give us a peace that surpasses all understanding, Lord. I pray as we do your business tonight, Lord, you would just give us the words to speak, Lord, and Lord, we ask you as we go through this week, you would just lead us, guide us, direct us, protect us, and all that we do and say in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation, sorry, with which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you, Commissioner Payne, Commissioner Wright. We'll move on to approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
So
Moved.
Who we have? Those two. I have a motion by Commissioner Baldwin to approve the agenda. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Payne. All those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes 7-0. We'll move on to presentations, and tonight we have the presentation on Otero County Economic Development Council Quarterly Report. We have Lori Anderson, who is the interim executive director. Good evening, Lori.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm very excited to be able to do a quarterly presentation for you today to let you know of all the things that we've got going on with Otero County Economic Development. Let me get my screen started. Okay, just a little bit about our organization is that we are a service engaged to the community of Otero County, Alamogordo and Otero County. We engage in industrial and commercial businesses. We are in charge of business attraction and recruitment into our community, to therefore creating jobs. We also deal with business retention and retention of the current businesses and how we can assist our community with the businesses that they have, that we're able to provide resources for them to either expand, or if they're having any type of challenges for their businesses, whether it's marketing, whether it's workforce, we try to provide opportunities for these businesses to expand and retain what they currently have. We also help provide them opportunities to advertise and promote their businesses through our websites, through our organization. When we try to provide them opportunities to any type of education opportunities that would help them enhance their business and make it thrive. in our organization, it's just myself, and we do have a new marketing coordinator marketing director, who is Monica Stevie. We're very lucky to have her. She's been doing wonderful things for our organization and trying to keep us on task in regards to our marketing pieces. So we're very glad to have her. I'm sure that you've probably seen some communication from her, and I'm very glad to have her on my team now. Just to go over some of the things that we have been doing, it's been a while since I've been in front of the commission to be able to discuss what we've been doing with OCDEC and what we've been trying to accomplish, especially during the COVID times. And so I definitely take this opportunity to provide any information, answer any questions that you might have. And if you have anything more in detail, I'd be more than happy to answer anything that you have tonight, or meet with you during business hours to discuss further. Some of the things that we have been, we currently have 3 projects. One is Project Oasis. It is a jewelry cleaning production company. There's additional services with that. We're currently trying to talk with the state of New Mexico in regards to a LEDA project. Whatever funds the state of New Mexico will bring to this business, we will end up seeing if there's a possibility of splitting some of those, the cost of this project with the city of Alamogordo in our LEDA package here. But we're in the preliminary stages in regards to trying to provide economic impact analysis for this company. And once we get that information, we'll continue with our due diligence in regards, before we even bring it to the city commission. We also have Project Fresh, which is a bottling production company. Unfortunately, this project was very much kind of fast-tracked, but due to the elections that are right around the corner, they really don't want to move forward until they find out who is going to be elected into office. And from what I understand, it doesn't matter who gets elected into office, but it's probably more along the lines of how it's going to affect their business and to the full capacity of what they're wanting to do. And then we do have a Project Feed, which is a meat processing company. I recently had spoke with the person, the owner, and we're going to hold off on this project right now as their busy season. And so we're trying to seek other avenues, and we're going to put it off for just a little bit longer. We will be seeking state LEDA for this project, and should there anything, there's a little bit of conflict in regards to what they want to do in the future. So at this time, we will not be coming to the city commission for a LEDA project in regards to this for Project Feed, and it is a meat processing company, and we've already got the impact analysis done on this project, and hopefully we'll be able to help assist them move once their season slows down just a little bit. Something that I think is very important to discuss is back in October of 2019, I had answered a project lead from New Mexico Partnership. This lead was, we called it Project Sky. Well, what happened with this lead back in March of 2020, right at the time of when everything was happening with COVID, we had received a call from the state of New Mexico stating that we had made the shortlist, that Alamogordo had made the shortlist in regards to this company. This company is the developer of ultra persistent drones and military applications. This project was a two-phase project. It was going to be manufacturing and R&D, as well as a headquarters. The headquarters, they were looking at landing in Las Cruces, and their manufacturing would be here in Alamogordo. Unfortunately, we were not able to secure that project. I'm very pleased that we made the short list. We were against Oklahoma, and when we did the impact analysis with this company and the state of New Mexico. And I did speak with Brian in regards to this project as well as what could we bring to the table. And everything between the city of Alamogordo and the state of New Mexico, we were able to provide over $18 million of incentives to this company. We were very viable for this company. And I'll tell you, the only reason why we were not selected is well, there's a couple reasons, but the main reason we were not selected was because the company owner was from Oklahoma. And so, but what I feel, and I like to keep talking about it, is we were actually in competition. We were there making the short list. So what with that happen, we were able to show some interest with some supply companies underneath Skydweller. And so right now we're kind of in the courting phase in regards to providing information, let them think about why, if Skydweller was looking at Alamogordo, this is another reason why we would be a good fit for these two companies. It is in the very preliminary stages, but I think even though we were not able to secure that project, I think that the fact that we were able to get our name out there, especially in the industry, I think that just put us at an advantage. And I'm very excited to be able to work these leads. I think that I'm a little bit ahead of the game, but I'm going to talk about a partnership that we have created with GSLI. They're Global Expansion Industries, and what they do is they have been in business for 25 years. This company has, they're basically a site selector. They make the connections, they create the leads, these project leads. They are actually out chasing companies who are already in an active phase looking for a new location to come into any communities. So they're essentially a lead generations company. Along with some additional services that they provide with that. Well, in COVID times, we realized that we have to do business attraction in a different form because we are currently not going to trade shows. There's no travels. Their site selectors are now doing what we call virtual tours. We're having to try and be creative. And so with that, I had to try and figure out new ways of how we could do some business attraction, get our name out there during a pandemic. We can't do things like we used to do. And so I was able to meet up with a couple different companies who provided the same service. And luckily enough, with GSLI, we were the only New Mexico community who was interested in GSLI. And at the time, there was nobody at the table. And so we ended up going into a partnership with GSLI to assist us to get us in front of active companies that are looking at moving their locations, moving businesses to different locations. Well, I'll tell you, and the other reason to that is because with the state of New Mexico cutting funding on economic development, particularly with the New Mexico Partnership, who is the sales team for New Mexico, we had to figure out and we had to do things differently. And so what I'm fixing to discuss is the different project leads that we have here. And I'll tell you, out of these particular leads, these leads were generated from July to September. And this is something that is not a normal fashion. If you'll see on here, there are 7 different projects. The fact that it's an election year and the fact that it is in the midst of a pandemic and it's only the beginning of the fiscal, essentially the first quarter of the fiscal year, you generally don't see a lot of these projects. And 2 of these are from New Mexico Partnership, but the other 5 are from GSLI, who have provided the opportunity for us to get in front of the decision makers and present Alamogordo and discuss and allow us the opportunity to allow us to introduce ourselves, if you will. And so with that being said, All Boxed Up is a manufacturing company. They manufacture cardboard boxes. So if you're getting boxes from Amazon, it's likely that you're getting this product from this project here. With this particular project, they were actually not looking for a location in New Mexico. They were actually looking for more South Texas. And I know that they were looking at a place in Louisiana. But when I started listening to what they had to offer, I chimed in, because with the partnership that we have with GSLI, we are exclusive for Otero County. We're their exclusive partner. And at this point, anybody who decides to sign on from New Mexico, they are going to go through us to ensure that it's going to be a good fit with us as well. So we decided that we're going to try and do a regional effort of trying to put more information, more emphasis, and more education about Southern New Mexico, and particularly Alamogordo and Otero County. And so with that being said, All Boxed Up was an opportunity that I felt while we were speaking to the decision maker. I wanted to let him know that we had everything that he was looking for. The only thing that we did not have was the very close proximity to an interstate. And so, but it turned out that it wasn't really a big deal. And the fact that we were only 92 miles away from the international airport, which was good. But I'll tell you, one of the things that made him think twice about us is the fact that we do have a level of agriculture here, but it was an industry that they wanted to get into. And I was able to discuss the different agriculture opportunities that are in New Mexico. And so again, we're in the introduction phase, in the education phase, and so we're still trying to work, seeing if we can try and obtain something with this project. But it's just something that it gives us the opportunity, to the right ears, to the right people, to discuss and educate and promote Alamogordo and Otero County. Project Pipe Machinery is a manufacturing company as well. I can't, with this particular project, there's not a lot that I can go into in regards to this, but I will tell you this is a hot project from GSLI. Project Rome is a plug-and-play call center that was actually provided to us from the New Mexico partnership. They actually had contacted us. This company contacted us because they wanted to discuss the opportunity with the old 1-800 Flower Building. There's a level of infrastructure upgrade that needs to be taken place in regards to that particular property. And I'm going to tell you that we do discuss the LEDA opportunities for anybody who's interested in that location, because the infrastructure piece in that facility is outdated. It was probably outdated 10 years ago. So it definitely has some necessary upgrades that need to be taken place. At this point in time, I know that the property owners are more interested in selling the property instead of leasing it out. However, if there's a right tenant, that they would be willing to lease it out. We do discuss the LEDA property and the creative ways of how we can try and utilize that for the facility, but there's some things that we have to work out with the property owners in regards to that. Project Future is a site selector who actually was looking for a specific type of building. We did not have the building size of what they were looking for, but there's an opportunity possibly to be able to expand. But the reason I put this one on here is because this particular project is they requested a certified site. And I've said it in previous meetings. I continue to discuss it. I'm not only looking for certified property in regards to land, but I'm also looking for businesses, buildings, commercial site buildings. And basically what it is that whenever you have projects that they're looking at needing to relocate or expand into a different location, a lot of times, particularly right now during our pandemic, they are looking for places to expand or relocate on an urgent status. They want to know that they're not going to be held up with permitting, or if they're going to have to do any type of power drops. How long is that going to take? Is it going to take 6 months? Is it going to take 8 months, 18 months? So they want to know that they're going to be able to have what they're looking for, what their needs are, ready in a quick turnaround of 60 to 90 days. And the certified sites, that's something that it's a conversation piece that I feel like more and more as we continue to move forward, time is of the essence for a lot of projects and a lot of people. And I'm sure that each one of you can attest to, you know, having to be busy and trying to be productive and get things going. So this is exact same concept in regards to these properties. When we do not have a certified site, whether it's a commercial property or even land, we almost automatically get disqualified and we get cut from that list. And so it's something that I want to continue to work on. Whenever it comes time to certify commercial property or some land, there's an investment piece into it, and we're just trying to find ways of being able to fund that so we can become more viable and more of an interest to people who are looking, who are needing to move in a quick manner. Project ARC is in manufacturing. This particular project, they were looking for different locations in the state of New Mexico. It is an outdoor recreation company. They are manufacturing. I will tell you that I ideally feel like Alamogordo was a great fit for this, but the one thing that would concern me is the workforce and what their needs are. I'm not able, with Project ARC, this was brought to us from the New Mexico Partnership. And this project, especially with the partnership, we get very little information. We don't have the opportunity to ask for additional information. Can we be creative? I think of ways of how we can try and build that workforce that they're looking for. And until I still responded to that lead, but until I'm able to get more information, I just don't know exactly if it's going to be a great fit or not for us. But other than that, what they're actually manufacturing is something that would be perfect for Alamogordo in southern New Mexico. Project Pack USA is also another GSLI lead. It is packing containers. So whenever they go and talk to different clients, they talk about where their customers are, and talk about the different locations that they have. And so I'll tell you right now with Project Pack, that one we had just signed on with GSLI to be their partners, and they really weren't looking for a location in New Mexico, but we still went ahead and provided that information because we do have a lot of viable things that they are needing for our community. I mean, for their workforce and their overall needs of the surrounding areas. And so we do fit what they're looking for. We just don't fit the location of where they originally were looking for, but we went ahead and applied, went ahead and responded to their lead. And the reason is because we do fit everything, just not the area that they were looking for. But we chalked it up to the fact that they didn't know about New Mexico in regards to what we could offer to them. So we're still hoping to hear something from that. And I would anticipate with this particular project, we should hear something by the end of November. if they were wanting to move to the next phase. Project Mineral Rocks, they were specifically looking for a location here in New Mexico. We're a little bit far from where they want to, where one of their needs are, but we're still a contender in regards to what we have available to offer them. Again, it's just a lead. We're just continuing trying to work on trying to gain their interest. Now let me continue to talk about GSLI. So what they do, our marketing campaign is set to launch November 1st. What happens at this point is the main person, the owners, Eric, Kleins, I always mess this name up, but it starts with a K. He's the one who makes the introductions to these site selectors who are who have the active projects in hand. And so what he's going to do is he's going to go to these site selectors. He already knows what we're looking for, what kind of jobs we're looking for. He's going to go make the introduction. He's going to say, let me introduce you to Alamogordo, New Mexico. And what we've done is we went through a process of what we call Discovery Day. We include the City of Alamogordo, we included the Chamber of Commerce, a couple people from my board, and some people from Holloman Air Force Base and White Sands Missile Range to discuss all the assets that we had. And it basically was a Discovery Day, an education day for the people who are going to help us get into the hot leads and the hot projects. And so when we had this Discovery Day, that's how we were able to build the marketing material, the contents that we are going to provide these site selectors, these these decision makers of these active projects. And so the owner is going to be making the introduction the first week in November. The second week of November, that's when I follow up, and then that's where we make the introduction. This is where we have the one-on-one communication about what their project is and how we can either at that point discuss we're either going to be a great fit or we're not going to be a good fit. And it's just basically an education piece. We have this campaign going on for 1 year. In this year, we hope to land more than one project, but I'm going to go ahead and say I hope that my goal is that we do land a project through GSLI. The partnership is valuable because in a pandemic world, we can't travel. I myself don't have all the people's names or the connections of people who already know that they're looking at expanding. And so Mr. Kleinsworth, he has been in the industry for over 25 years. He has the connections. He knows these businesses. He knows these industries, and he can get these projects going. So like I said, by the time it comes to us, we're already going to know who is a hot lead, who's already looking for a project, and who's looking at possibly expanding. With the information, the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of businesses that are wanting to relocate outside of urban areas, and they're looking for rural communities like ours. The biggest challenge is going to be the workforce. Are we going to be able to sustain these workforces? And so right now is an opportunity to showcase a rural community, showcase Alamogordo and all the assets that we had. I know that the team, my marketing team, was very impressed with all that we had to offer, and more so in our region. But when they started putting all the assets together, they really were very positive about Alamogordo. In the different opportunities that we have with White Sands Missile Range, Holloman Air Force Base, and El Paso, and really a lot of it too is the fact that we have a lot of good recreational community, an area. And so they were very pleased with what we had, and they were very optimistic about the information that we were going to be able to sell together to these companies that are already having a live active project. And I'll probably continue to talk about them a little bit farther going on. In regards to BRE and recruiting, during the COVID-19, we have answered countless calls of people needing assistance, how we can help them, how we can find funding. Something's not working for them, how can we find something creative to try and help assist them, whether it's workforce, whether it's just opportunity for their businesses. We've really tried to, being a resource center, we've really tried to do what we can to make those connections for these businesses who are unsure of how we're going to continue to move forward. And so we continue to do that. We continue to answer the calls. We continue to try and make those resources. We do work closely with the Small Business Development Center. And so with that close partnership, Trish and her team are able to usually help assist these businesses with their business plans. How do they need to change them? Any type of marketing, if they're needing to apply, how they can assist them applying, especially with like the small business development, recovery, grants and loans. With that, we also have taken on a new opportunity with the new business welcome cards. We make sure that anybody who has registered businesses within Alamogordo, we send them a welcome card, and we also send them our information in regards to what we do and how we can assist them. After we send these out, we also follow up. We continue that relationship. We follow up with them. How are they doing? How can we assist them? Is there any challenges that they're having that we would be able to help them? Now, when I was looking over the slide, it did say that there was 28 welcome cards mailed out. By this time, we had not received the September business listing. And so to this date, we've sent out 51 since July. We have had 31 social distance visits, calls, and those are just really BREs. These are people who have not reached out to us. We've reached out to them, and we've asked them how they're doing, how we can assist them, and if we can make some type of connections, what their needs are. And the PRO opportunities. So this goes back to the New Mexico partnership. Again, we're trying to be as creative as we can. The partnership is working on developing virtual shows. Everything is virtual. They're trying to figure out how can we do effectively a FAM tour, which is a familiarization tour and trade shows. Right now, we're working together, and we're working together with a virtual trade show, which is on a multi-month networking platform. And so with this opportunity, we provide, our information is provided on a monthly basis to particular companies, site selectors, commercial property brokers. As a matter of fact, I just got off the phone with one of the commercial, well, he's more of a site selector, but he does a lot of work in commercial properties. We just are partnering up with them as well, and they're typically on the East Coast. And so what he's going to do is he's going to throw our information to these people and discuss everything that we have to offer. He was very excited about Alamogordo and the information that we had. And I think the real big draw for this gentleman was that fact that we have White Sands Missile Range just in the very close proximity to us. Along with that trade show, the virtual show with the New Mexico partnership, they are estimating over 550,000 visitors over the next 3 to 4 months of this new campaign that we're trying to do. So we're not only putting, we're trying to put our hands in everything just to be able to get our information out. And we're not even just looking at the US, we're looking at globally. How can we get our information out? How can we market our community effectively to where we can even keep up and continue with this rotation, continue that partnership, that relationship building with these people. With COVID-19, no travel, there's no trade shows, no familiarization tours, and there's limited professional development. We are operating in-person visits. We very limited in-person visits, but we are at our office. We have seen that we're communicating a lot through electronic communication, phone calls. We are working with the SBDC, the Chamber of Commerce, and the City of Alamogordo. Again, we have a strong marketing effort going out with GSLI, domestic and global. And the one thing that we are working on now is we're working on a virtual tour of Alamogordo. It's going to be a two-part series. It's going to be a two-part commercial. One is going to be a walkthrough of Alamogordo. This is how we're selling Alamogordo. When you come into Alamogordo, this is what we're going to do. This is who's doing business, how we're doing business, and how we're going to get it done. We're also going to be trying to locate, to feature prime properties. So they can just do a virtual walkthrough and hopefully help make those site selectors and the decision makers decisions a little bit easier without having to travel, especially with the quarantine rules that are in place. And again, too, we do our matching businesses with funding opportunities and recovery resources where we can. As a matter of fact, we just received information this last week in regards to one that's not for businesses, but it's a housing cost assistance program. People who are eligible if their rent or their mortgage payment is behind. We have some additional some of the same programs that we've got in regards to the recovery loan, the small business recovery loan, different SBA opportunities as well. As a matter of fact, so here we are with the Desert Lights Film Festival. We're in the process of discussing this as a matter of fact, we just received emails today in regards to this. We are looking at going a virtual film festival. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. It's still going to be very, very much the same. The information is going to get out to the students. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to film, but we want to see how creative they can get. We want to give them something that's exciting to look forward to, something to work for. And so we're in the very preliminary discussions for planning the festival, but we have agreed that the team who puts on the Desert Lights Film Festival has agreed to continue to do this, but it is going to be a virtual festival this year. So let's see how creative we can be with this. And just to, again, as I mentioned, we had hired a new marketing coordinator, and this is some of the information and some of the stuff that she has created to be able to help market us a little bit easier and more effectively. And I believe that you were sent this through the package, but it's really great content. We are keeping up with the data in regards to this. We're trying to stay on top of it as best as we can. Again, with the partnership with the Global Site Selection, we had the Discovery Day, now the Lighthouse campaign, the email campaign, the introduction to the companies that are interested that are hot projects they're wanting to expand into other locations or relocate, and some that are probably have shown some interest but not exactly sure that they were wanting to make it until hopefully when they see our information they'll make a decision on trying to move forward with a project. But again, I think the one thing that I want to stress about this is that the work that we're doing with these companies, at least 90% of them are already projects that are already looking at other locations to either expand or relocate. And I'll tell you, one of the things that that really sold me on this is that there is, if anybody's been to Dumas, Texas, their economic development organization is part of GSLI as well. And between Dumas, Texas, and the EDO from there and GSLI, they were able to land a pet food manufacturer into Dumas, Texas. And it's a very small area, community, just like ours. Actually, it's smaller, but they were able to land this, and they were able to create quite a few jobs for this company. So there's a lot of hope in being able to, that the partnership is right. And what makes it so wonderful is that right now we are the only community in New Mexico who's working with them. So that means they're only marketing Alamogordo, New Mexico. They're not marketing anywhere else. And one of the things that I have asked them to advocate is the rural communities, southern New Mexico, and that's exactly what they're wanting to do. So we're very excited about that. Again, we're just with our social media content. This just gives you some information. Our Facebook page, Monica's constantly posting information, data in regards to connection with the Economic Development Organization. We make sure that our information is on LinkedIn, email outreaches, and our websites are up to date and current. Now I stand for questions.
Any commissioners or staff have any questions of Lori?
thank you, Lori.
I guess not. Lori, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was a great job. Right, we'll move on to public comment. Rachel, do we have any public comment for this meeting?
Yes, sir, we do. So Mr. William Pollard submitted a verbal public comment. He stated there is an unhitched trailer at 1808 Scenic Drive and wants to know why this unhitched trailer is exempt from the ordinance. And he also said that last year, beginning around Thanksgiving, that FedEx and UPS trucks were parked at 1806 Scenic Drive to take packages to various, or took packages of various sizes off the trucks and put them on golf carts to deliver them. And he also stated that this is a residential area and should not be used for a postal transaction to do business. And that is the only comment.
Brian, City Manager Brian Caesar, could you give us some information on that, maybe on his
Sure,
comment?
I'll just roll it into the city manager's report. So his first comment had to do with unhitched trailers. When this comment came in, one of our officers actually went up to the area and reported back that the trailer was actually in the person's yard, unhitched, up on their property, not on the city street. I went a day or so later, and that was still the case. Commission back in August of 2018 amended the ordinance for unhitched trailers. You can have an unhitched trailer alongside the curb and gutter, as long as you safely chalk it. It's parked safely. You can have it there for up to 24 hours. So in this case, there is no violation of the ordinance. It wasn't on the street. It was on that person's private property. His second item had to do with FedEx and UPS parking a truck, unloading packages, putting them into a golf cart or an ATV, whatever the case may be. Those are public streets. They have every right to pull over, assuming that there isn't a resident-only parking sign, no parking zone, can't park in front of a fire hydrant. But state law, I don't remember when that changed. It's been a number of years now. as long as the smaller vehicle that they're using, whether it's a golf cart, ATV, whatever the case may be, as long as it meets the state requirements and our local requirements, they can operate that type of vehicle on a city street. Going on, just a couple of quick items, because I know that was a longer presentation the commission's used to. It's been quite a while since OCDEC has actually been able to give an update to commission. This Sunday is daylight savings time, and with that, our next commission meeting, dependent upon item 7, which is either going to be the 4th or the 17th, we will be starting the next meeting at 6 p.m., not 6:30 like we did tonight. And lastly, tomorrow, as part of APD's accreditation process, they will be holding their static display for the various things that APD does at the fairgrounds, starting about 8:30, scheduled to last till 5. I think that's going to be dependent upon the number of people that actually show up, weather, etc. So if you get a chance, you can go down to the fairgrounds and see what APD, the various areas of APD and what they do. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Any questions of our city manager? Thank you, Brian. On to remarks and inquiries by the city commission. Does any commissioner have any remarks they would like to make? On to the consent agenda. Would any staff member or commissioner like to pull item from the agenda? I'm going to pull item 4. Consider an act upon acceptance of a commitment letter from New Mexico NMFA. So do I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda as adjusted by removal of item 4?
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Baldwin to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Who was the second? I have a second
Commissioner
from
Reardon.
Commissioner Reardon. Clerk, do we have, is that roll call?
There's
Roll call.
roll
Clerk,
call.
please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Jason Baldwin,
Aye.
Nadia Sykes,
Aye.
Josh Reardon,
Aye.
Karen McDonald,
Aye.
Dusty Wright,
Aye.
Susan Payne,
Aye.
Richard Voss.
Aye, motion passes 7-0. We'll move on to items removed from the consent agenda, that being item 4. Consider an act upon acceptance of commitment letter from NMFA for a $2,151,300 drinking water state revolving fund loan to make Bonito Lake infrastructure improvements. The reason I pulled that is I want to take, this is a really, really big deal for the city. I don't know, I think all of you probably recognize that, but there's people out there that don't. I want to take a moment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from the agenda report, I'm going to read what the background is on this. It's a really, this is a really important thing. The city submitted a drinking water state revolving fund loan application to New Mexico Finance Authority requesting a loan in the amount of $2,130,000 to make necessary improvements to the Bonito Lake Reservoir. Subsequently, the application was approved and a binding commitment letter was issued. The improvements include replacing the original valve from 1943. That's before I was born. In the main valve manifold located inside the dam house, a new parashell flume and a box at the exterior at the dam house. Intake tower repairs consisted of a new handrail and landing, new interior ladder and safety climb, 3 additional intake ports, a porcelain coated measuring strip located on the exterior, installing a catwalk and handrails and security fencing for maintenance access to the intake tower, and dam face repairs consisting of concrete cap removal and replacement, resurfacing, and fencing. The this is so important that we do this now while the lake is drained. Because that lake, it's not practical to drain it again. We had to drain it for the Little Bear Fire for all the renovation from that. But I really want to thank all the people who are involved in that. And I know there's others, and if anybody wants to jump in, they can. But I know Brian Caesar and Larry Garner had a lot to do with this, and it is really very significant to our city. This is our best drinking water that we have. This water is going to be around for a long, long time, and it's our highest quality, and it's going to be even more quality with being able to take it from the water from different levels during the year. So, would anybody else like to comment on that, Brian? I don't know if you have any comments or not.
Yeah. Bob Johnson, our engineering manager, and David Nunley, our water and wastewater operations manager, have been instrumental not only in the rehabilitation of the lake, the removal of the materials, but also these projects. These have been every year. The Dam Safety Bureau from New Mexico, from the state, comes down and evaluates our dam. This has been an item of deficiency since at least 1998, when I came back to work for the city of Alamogordo. You're exactly right with the draining of the lake, all the permitting that's involved. It would not be an easy process if we didn't do this now. This would be a very long, drawn out, painful process. Part of the reason we were able to move as quickly as we were through the permitting process, the environmental assessments, cultural assessments, was because of the FEMA declaration, the emergency declaration, and the FEMA project. So being able to take advantage of one project and get these very needed improvements is a win for the city.
In my mind, if not the biggest, this is one of the very biggest assets the city of Alamogordo owns, is that lake. That's that's provided a lot of water to us, and it makes it possible for our town to grow. And anyway, I want to thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, I wanted to
Debbie.
give a shout out to Debbie. I think you kind of gave her a mild heart attack when you pulled that from the consent agenda. But she's been handling all of the paperwork, all of the filings that have to go, and will continue to handle all of the paperwork and all the filings that have to go. So she's so good at reading those details and making sure that we have every I dotted and every T crossed. So she's been really, really helpful with that loan.
Thank you, Evelyn. Debbie, thank you too. Thank you very much. I know how important that is.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Baldwin.
I just wanted to say, actually, I have a question in reference to the letter. Also say, the community was devastated by the Little Bear Fire in 2012. And the fact that we've seamlessly been able to, or for the most part, seamlessly been able to provide water to everybody that's needed over the last 8 years is a testament to the staff and the people that have been staying on top of it for the last 8 years. They've done such a good job. Sometimes I forget the lake's even closed down, that, like you stated, that's a pretty major source of our water. So I'm excited that we're getting closer and getting ready. In the letter, I was just reading through it. It did say that there was potentially a portion of the loan that is forgivable. Can anybody explain that to me?
Debbie, can you do that, or
potentially forgivable?
I think Debbie would be the best person to answer that one.
Can you hear me?
Did you hear Commissioner Baldwin's question, Debbie?
I did, yes. And if you look up at the agenda report, it explains the part of the loan that's forgivable there. It's given as a grant. So what the amount of the loan that we'll pay back is $1,075,650, and then $1,064,885 is the principal forgiveness that they gave us.
And look at the interest rate on that, 0.34%.
Yeah.
Right.
We got
I mean, this
Good
is
interest
about
rate.
this is about as good a loan as you can get.
Does that answer your question?
It does. So it's the grant portion of the loan that's forgivable?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
forgivable part.
Okay. Very good. I
Okay.
was just very excited to read that and I missed that on the
Yeah.
agenda report. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's
Thank
okay.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Do I hear a motion on item 4, consider an act upon acceptance of commercial letter from NMFA for a $2,151,300 drinking water state revolving fund loan to make Manila Lake infrastructure improvements?
So moved.
Who was the motion? I'm sorry.
Commissioner
I have a
Baldwin.
motion from Commissioner Baldwin to approve item 4. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Mayor Pro Tem Sykes. All those in favor, aye.
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 Those that don't agree, nay. No, the motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, Debbie.
Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you, everyone.
We will move on now to new business. Item 7, consider an act upon canceling the November 4th, 2020 commission meeting. Brian Caesar, our city manager. Brian, you want to make any comment on that or you just want us to?
Yes,
Vote
so
on
well, if you're ready to vote on it, but
Okay.
okay.
It was kind of a joke, Brian. Go ahead.
8 days from now, the 4th of November is the next scheduled meeting, which means our agenda to put an item on the agenda would close tomorrow at noon. This being as long as a meeting as it has been so far, it is very unlikely that Rachel and her team will be able to have even the minutes ready by the 4th. So what we're asking Commission is to cancel the November 4th meeting. If we do have the meeting, it would be public comment, or I'm sorry, the invocation, the pledge, public comment, and adjourn the meeting.
If an
But
emergency
that is,
if an emergency comes up and we have to call a meeting, we can do that also. If we do cancel
yes,
this
yeah,
one.
at any time, yeah.
Right.
So we're asking Commission to cancel the November 4th meeting next Wednesday. I'm sorry, a
Do I
week
hear
from
a-
tomorrow.
Any other questions? If not, do I hear a motion on item 7?
So moved.
I can't see who's doing that too.
So moved.
Okay.
Commissioner Reardon.
You're kind of back a little ways, Josh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion on item 7. Consider act upon a motion from Commissioner Reardon. Consider an act upon canceling the November 4th, 2020 commission meeting. Although, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Who is this? I have a second from Mayor Pro Tem Sykes. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes 7-0. Move on to item 8. Consider an act upon first publication of ordinance 1619, amending chapter 28 of the Alamogordo Code of Ordinances regarding fats, oils, and grease. Larry Garner, our Public Works Director, is going to give us some information on that, I'm guessing. Larry?
Yes. Good evening, Commission, or Mayor Pro Tem Commission, City Manager, Larry Garner, Public Works Director. What this is a add-on to Chapter 28 in our ordinance that relates to our fog ordinance that we don't currently have that we're trying to implement. It's fats, oils, and grease. We'll be adding on to Chapter 28, starting at 02. Where did I go here? 290 through 340. This is just basically our fog program that we've been trying to get off the ground for quite a while. And the city, our staff is recommending that that you approve us doing the first publication on this ordinance so that we can get it moving forward to protect our sewer infrastructure. And I'll stand for any questions.
Commissioner Sykes and I were on your commission on that, and if there's no other discussion, I'm going to make a motion. Would anybody else have any other comments? I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 8 and act upon the publication, the first publication of ordinance 1619. Do I hear a second?
I'd like to second that.
I have a second from Mayor Pro Tem Sykes. Clerk, please call the roll.
Jason Baldwin,
Aye.
Claudia Sykes,
Aye.
Josh Reardon,
Aye.
Sharon McDonald,
Aye.
Dusty Wright,
Aye.
Susan Payne,
Aye.
Richard Voss.
She said, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Larry, thank you very much for pushing that forward. We've needed that for some time, and appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
If I can just quickly say, and I know it's a little out of line here, but the meetings that Mayor Boss and I were in with regard to the FOG program were extremely enlightening, and we realized that this is so absolutely necessary. So thank you, Larry, for
Thank
it
you.
took a while to get to this point. So thank you for getting us here.
You bet. Thank you. And we're hopefully, once this COVID thing blows over, we'll start our meetings back up. Start doing a little bit more of the different sites that you guys can see.
Great.
I was a
Thank-
7-0 vote. I'm not sure I said that. If there's no further business for the good of the city, on item 9, we adjourn into executive closed session in accordance with 10-15-1H87 NMSA as amended to discuss real property, APS land swap proposal, Alamogordo, New Mexico, and to discuss threatened or pending litigation, possible PRD settlement. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Payne to go into executive session. For a second,
Mayor, I'll second, but are we adjourning into executive session?
we are going to, yes, I read it, item 9,
Okay.
adjourn into executive session.
Okay, I'll second that.
I have a second from Commissioner Reardon. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Jason Baldwin,
Aye.
Nadia Sykes,
Aye.
Josh Reardon,
Aye.
Sharon McDonald,
Aye.
Dusty Wright,
Aye.
and Richard Voss.
Aye. Motion passes.
Nope, you didn't call my name.
Whose name?
I'm sorry, Susan
Oh,
Payne.
Susan.
Aye.
Okay. All right, now the motion passes.
Get enough
7-0.
votes. I guess it doesn't matter.
We are adjourned